welcome to Gracewood Farms.
Today we're going to be talking about herbs, and herbs are super important to anybody, whether you're a homesteader or you live in the city and have a small apartment dwelling, because they are very easy to grow. You can grow them on a windowsill just about anywhere. We have a variety here on our homestead, and we're going to be talking about a lot, but a little bit on each. And then if you wanted to go more in depth on any of them in the future, we absolutely can. Some videos are out there more in depth as I have looked for them, but I've also found that some are harder to find. So perhaps we'll do something like that in the future. Yeah, let's tell them what all we have to talk about the edible landscaping.
So we are striving toward edible landscaping. We are not here to cultivate a pretty yard. We are here to feed a family. We're here to take care of a family. So everything we have and we plant has a purpose. So let's start off with that.
Right.
So like out front here in our front, we have a little fence. There is Echinacea and chives in there.
Some of the herbs we are growing in addition to Echinacea and chives are basil, parsley, thyme, oregano, Feverfew, lemon balm. I think those are like the highlights. I'm sure we'll think of some others. Parsley, mint. And so we're gonna start out here in our front yard and show you that first. So if you wanna follow me, babe, and I'll kind of talk through. Okay, when you look at our front of our home, you will see this huge amount of what looks like weeds, and this is actually all mint. Mint is invasive and will take over wherever you put it. It propagates very easily. I can cut one of these right now, put it in water, and within about 5 days it'll have strong enough root system to transplant into the ground and it will grow. Mint is very easy for beginners, and if you need a filler anywhere on your property, mint is definitely the way to go. We had some tent worms on this mint just a few weeks ago. We removed the stalks where the tent worms were, and we have not had an issue since. So I would say it's also very pest resistant. Now next to our mint, getting lost down here, is our parsley. And I just did a recent clipping and I'm drying some parsley, but there's our little parsley plant. This is not the year for parsley for me. I've had parsley do a lot better than this, but it is what it is. Thankfully, we don't eat a ton of parsley. Over here is where we have several feverfew plants. Right here is little tiny lavender. I'm very proud. Lavender and rosemary are two herbs that are extremely difficult to start from seed. And I'm very proud of my little baby lavender here that I started from seed. And it's actually, even though it looks really small, it's doing very, very well. And it's shaded too, so it's in lavender-like sun, so I'm surprised. Next to it we have feverfew, and what's interesting about our feverfew is that this all came from the same seed packet, but it looks like we have two different varieties going on. So we have this lighter green, very leafy, ferny type, and then we have this darker green with these taller like flowers. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Like, yeah, if you are somebody knowledgeable about or on feverfew, I am all ears. And this guy has little tiny buds on it. If you're wondering what feverfew is or what it's good for, the Native Americans used it. It's been around for a long time, and it's recommended to treat sinus conditions and headaches. It actually acts as a preventative for headaches, and then also a treatment if you're somebody who suffers from chronic migraines. Having feverfew on a daily basis can be extremely beneficial. In addition to that, feverfew also has been, as I read this in a study, and I can try to link it below, but feverfew has also been shown to help with endometriosis. If you're a woman who has perhaps any stage of endometriosis, feverfew has been shown in a few studies to more or less, I don't know, help with the pain, etc. So feverfew is a great one to have on your homestead, and we started all of this from seed, and we didn't think it was going to grow, and then it just kind of took off, and this whole row is actually feverfew. I have a dianthus right here, not edible as far as I know. And then if you come down here, you can see these ones have flowers. Lemon balm is down here, and then we have some more lavender down here. Now these lavenders we got from the grocery store, from Lowe's, etc. And they're doing really well though. They're just dwarf lavender, so these aren't gonna get very big. But they still smell great and you can still use them medicinally. The lemon balm is great for tea. Lemon balm treats a variety of illnesses. It's something that you probably should have on hand at all times, all year round. And you can use it in a tincture or you can use it in a tea, and I can explain more about tinctures and teas and the difference between the two as we walk around. So let's go, where should we go? This is our Echinacea. We have 4 Echinacea plants. This is our 2nd year growing them in this space. We bought them from a greenery or from a greenhouse. Our in-laws picked them up for us. So actually my in-laws picked them up for us at a greenhouse a little bit of a drive away. But Echinacea is a really cool herb to have because it boosts the immune system. So Echinacea has been used for hundreds of years. It's even been used in Eastern medicine to prevent illness. And in order to truly give a boost to your immune system, you need to ingest Echinacea on a regular basis. And there's 2 different ways to take this in. The first is the root system, which sounds crazy, right? Because if you're using the roots of a plant, you think that you're destroying the whole thing. But when you use the roots of Echinacea, you are not going to use all of them. So what you'll do is in the fall, you will pull up the entire plant, the root system. You will cut off some of the roots, leaving the main part of it so that you don't kill the plant. You'll take those roots from all 4 of these, we can do this too, and then we will replant these and they will continue to grow. We will wash those roots, dry them, and then we can make either a tincture, as I said before, or a tea out of them. Now, if you don't want to wait until the fall, or you don't want to dig up your Echinacea plant, the stalk, leaves, and flowers are still valuable. And the key to using this as a tea is to harvest this before the cone becomes defined. This is a cone flower, and you want to harvest the flowers and leaves before this cone really becomes defined. So when these flowers first open up is when you want to harvest Echinacea. And you can cut the stalk just above the bottom healthy set of leaves, and you take off the leaves, you dry the leaves, you dry the flower, and then you can use that and make a tea or a tincture with that. But if you really want the 100% awesome benefits, wait till the fall and harvest your roots and then replant your Echinacea. So that's our Echinacea. I'm gonna do both. I'm planning on using the leaves and flowers, and then in the fall digging these up and trying for the roots as well. We are growing our rosemary in pots, but when we planted this, we had some volunteer, I think it's Feverfew. I hope it is because I gave some to a friend and I told her it was Feverfew, and now I'm starting to doubt myself because I'm not really sure what this is. If it's not Feverfew, it's a really good fake, because that's what it looks like, is Feverfew to me. All right, I'm very proud of this rosemary. I grew this little guy from seed. Out of like 8 rosemary that I started from seed, this is the only one that survived. But look how good it is. It's such a great little plant. This one we cheated. We brought it from our local Kroger's. I've already gotten 2 cuttings off of it, and I could probably cut it right now. It smells so good. I wish you could smell it through the video because it just smells amazing. And what I love about herbs is that I literally can just brush my hand over them and smell my hand, and it smells so aromatic. I love herbs. Okay, so that's our rosemary, and we're gonna winter this inside, and hopefully we can just bring it back outside next late spring, early summer. James is going to talk to you guys about drying herbs a little bit, and there's 2 different ways you can do it. One is the car method, and 2 is the good old-fashioned hang and dry. Fun fact, you don't want to use a dehydrator for your herbs because it actually depletes some of the good nutrients and medicinal values and properties of those herbs if you use a dehydrator. So you really want to dry them slowly and naturally to preserve 100% of the medicinal value of your herbs.
Alright guys, so now we're going to talk a little bit about drying them. So there's 2 methods. One that we use is the hang and dry. So you can tie it up with pretty much anything. You don't want to tie up too much together at once. This is some of Rachel's sage. You don't want to tie up too much in one bunch at once. You want air to be able to get to it. You want it to be able to dry naturally. So I use baler twine to tie it up. Just get some together here, make a little knot. And then what we do is we hang it from the rafters, which we'll show you here in a minute. We hang it from the rafters in the garage. You can hang it in your kitchen, off a nail or off a hook, in your bedroom, you know, wherever. We hang it off the rafters in the garage here. The second method you can use is called the car method, which is pretty cool. So anyone who lives in an apartment, lives in town, it doesn't matter. You don't have to, you know, hang these from a garage. You can hang them in your car and dry them. Leave your windows cracked and just tie them up like I said, like I showed you. It doesn't have to be with baler twine, be with string, whatever. And hang them up in your car and it'll dry.
On a hot sunny day, a
nice hot sunny
couple
day.
days, they'll be done.
Yeah, it'll dry it up real nice for you. So yeah, anyone can farm. You can farm anywhere, however you want, whether you live in a small apartment or on 1,000 acres, anyone can farm. Alright, so what I do, like I said, I've got my long piece of baler twine here. I just tie it up here, give it a little wrap, and make a knot. And then you just let it dry, let it hang to dry. We have windows open on the sides for ventilation. When we're home, we usually have the garage door open, so there's some good ventilation there. As you can see, we've already got some other herbs here drying. I believe this is lavender, basil, mint, rosemary, parsley. So we've got a good bit hanging so far. Here's one I just hung for you, the sage. We have some more cuttings I need to get hung up in here to dry and hang. But yeah, this is one method. This is what we use, the rafter method, I guess you'd call it. But like I said, there's always method number 2, the car method. I want to thank you guys for coming and visiting us today. We hope that you have a safe day, have a safe 4th of July. Like I said, thank you for coming to see us, and we look forward to seeing you again. God bless.